Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health TV and Radio Show. I'm your host, Sara Banta. I'm a health coach, natural supplement expert, and a busy mom of three. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below so you're notified every week with my new podcasts on Mondays and Tuesdays. And if you haven't already, join my free group coaching on Telegram with the link below. I teach you on a daily basis with tips and tools to enhance your health, and you will be a part of an amazing like-minded group to support you on your journey, in addition to truly taking control of your health. My goal is to reach everyone on earth with eyes to see and ears to hear my message of healing. So help me with that goal. Share this podcast with a few of your friends who may need my help. And today we're talking about your guide to staying healthy during the holidays. And I swear God uses me in a very timely manner, unbeknownst to what I would like to happen. This last weekend had a family party, was wonderful. 23 people in a very small space, all indoors. Food was not what I normally eat, not organic. It was takeout, and it was a great night. But I know that I'm putting myself in a position where I'm eating foods that are not normally in my body. I'm not drinking alcohol. And maybe you are drinking a little more than normal, and I'm under stress, right? You've got this happy stress, whether it's good stress or bad stress. The holidays are a stressful time. You've got some grieving maybe going on. You've got kids that are acting out. You've got college kids coming home, and you've got some things that you're not used to dealing with. And you're also starting to eat more sugar, right? So even though I am sticking to a pretty clean diet, typically, if I'm at a party and I see some bundt cakes or something like that, I'm going to have some. So what does that do? That causes a lot of stress and a lot of things to get out of whack in the body. So for me, this last weekend, I actually not only caught a flu bug or of some sort of virus, but then my profile of food poisoning definitely went up. And how do I know that? I scan myself on my Genius Insight app. It scans your body for thousands of things and will tell you where your hormones are, where your brain health is, where your food profile is, what foods you should stay away from, if you have food poisoning, if you have a virus or a bacteria, or possibly maybe you've got candida. It will tell you all of that. So I definitely was positive for a virus, and I was also definitely positive for food poisoning, but I really didn't need the scan to know. I had a pounding headache. I honestly don't think I've had a headache like that in my life. It was very difficult to get through yesterday. I was constipated, I was bloated, I was retaining a ton of water. You couldn't even see my ankles, and a lot of just symptoms, right? I had no motivation, wanted to sleep all day, and I thought, oh my goodness, if I feel like this tomorrow on my Monday when I had to record 2 podcasts and also be a mom of 3 because my college kids are home, and be a wife and do all that I'm supposed to do, there's no way. And guess what? All of my tricks and my tools got me through. Yesterday, I slept amazingly, and I woke up with no headache, and still I have no headache, knock on wood. So yes, the stress can add to the immune system issues, and all of the sugar that we're eating and all of this that's going on during the holidays can cause your body to get off track. That's why put on your calendar, January 8th of 2024, we are starting the first group for the Ascent Diet Cleanse of 2024. And you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a fantastic big group, and super excited to get everyone back on track. But let's look at why stress causes sugar cravings and what it's doing in the body and what happened to me, because I had a really stressful week last week. So that led me up to this party and being super susceptible to getting taken down by the food and viruses. Stress causes sugar cravings on its own, physiological and psychological. So what happens? The stress triggers the release of cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It's a good hormone. It's supposed to help us when we are in acute stressful situations. It can increase appetite and specifically lead to cravings for food that are high in sugar and fat. Why? So they're full of calories. We want to survive, right? If we're stressed and we're running from a tiger, we need to survive and store a lot of body fat so we can get through the winter. Well, what's worse is the cortisol on its own is going to increase fat storage as the body is in that fight or flight or survival mode. And when the body's flipped into survival mode, it's going to lower the metabolism, right? So even if we are eating the same things, our metabolism is lower. Conserving energy is going to lower ATP and cellular energy and increase oxidative stress. So not only are you feeling stress from the holidays, but your body is shutting down its caloric burn and aging at an accelerated rate, independent of the sugary foods that you may be eating. I want you to look in the mirror now and then look in the mirror on January 1 and see how you look. You might have aged at an accelerated rate. When you add in the sugary foods, it exponentially increases the degradation of your energy, caloric burn, that perceived stress, inflammation, and lowered immune system. And it's that perceived stress, because stress is going to happen, right? Regardless of what we do, but how are we interpreting it? And that's where you've got to trick your mind into thinking this is not going to be a big deal. This family stress that I'm going through, it's going to be okay. It's a 1, it's not a 10, right? On from 1 to 10. How are we seeing our stress? That is tip number 1. You want to lower that perceived stress, because stress is going to come and go. But how are you dealing with it? Now, it's easier said than done. Obviously, for me, my body was stressed. My immune system was lowered, and I got hit. And a lot of people at that same party, they survived fine. Everyone's feeling great because maybe their immune systems weren't suppressed by that stress. And I did have a lot of stress last week, so that makes sense. What else happens is the brain chemistry changes. Stress influences the brain's neurotransmitters, particularly dopamine, which is related to mood and reward. Dopamine is our if we're addicted to drugs or sugar or alcohol, that's the neurotransmitter that gets us to wanting more, more, more. Sugary foods can prompt the release of dopamine, and that's associated with pleasure and motivation regulation. It's what gets us out of bed. Dopamine, we can't live without it. If we didn't have dopamine, we wouldn't eat or move, honestly. This creates a temporary sense of comfort and relief from stress. What makes sugar so difficult to abstain from is that there are 3 separate pathways, not one, to the brain that encourages sugar cravings. There's only one pathway for drugs or alcohol. There's 3 for sugar. So once you start eating the holiday treats you normally don't, then it's hard to stop. And it's that like first party or Thanksgiving kicks it off, or maybe even Halloween kicks it off. And then you think, oh, it's just willpower. I don't have willpower. I can't stop. Well, it's actually not willpower. It's the sugar that is feeding that system and feeding that dopamine response. And every time you eat more sugar, you need more sugar just to feel normal again. It's this pain, pleasure, teeter-totter. So every time you have a bite of brownie, the pleasure goes up and your body wants to be in equilibrium. So you need to have an equal pain to equal the pleasure for your body to be in homeostasis. When you continually eat the sugar, it lowers your whole homeobalance state so that you actually need more sugar just to feel normal again. I hope that makes sense. So what else happens in the body from stress and sugar is that your blood sugar is affected. The stress on its own affects blood sugar, even without eating anything. It's called the dirty cupcake. You don't even get to enjoy the cupcake to raise your blood sugar. So when you're stressed, the body may release more glucose in the bloodstream, and it provides a quicker source of energy for that fight or flight response. And after the stressor has passed, insulin helps bring the blood sugar levels down, which will induce blood sugar cravings even more, or sugar cravings even more for that sugar to bring it back up. Not only is this roller coaster of the blood sugar going up and down going to lead to unexplained fat gain on the body, but it's also going to trigger cravings for sugar foods to replenish its energy. So if your blood sugar's down, you're going to crave sugar. And that's why a lot of people have insomnia and sleep issues. And I just had a question about, I have monkey mind at night. I can't sleep at night. What is going on? Well, during the holidays, you've got all this extra stress going on. It could be affecting your blood sugar. And in the middle of the night, the blood sugar is going down, and that can keep you awake. And that's the number one cause for insomnia, is blood sugar regulation. Many people also turn to the comfort foods, often high in sugar, as a way to cope with the stress or emotional challenges. Like I mentioned, this is a tough time for a lot of people. We might be grieving someone we've lost, or a divorce, or something's going on within the family dynamics. You have to go to a holiday party. You don't want to see somebody that you usually don't have to see during the regular year. It's a season of heightened stress, and one with more sweets than normal, so it's hard to abstain from eating them. And then the act of eating these foods provide a temporary distraction and a sense of pleasure or comfort, and it only lasts a few minutes or a half hour, so then you'll want more. And you also have this habitual response. So over time, as you develop of reaching those sugary foods during the stressful situations, it can become ingrained, leading to automatic sugar cravings when stress arises. You also have that gut-brain connection. Stress can impact the gut-brain axis, influencing the communication between the brain and the digestive system. And this connection can affect the cravings for food and sugar, with an increased tendency to go for those processed sugary foods and alcohol. And those processed foods, full of the added sugars, unhealthy fats, and salt, are designed to induce those addictions to these foods. Those big companies with those processed foods, they're no dummies. They put those hidden sugars and the real sugars and the extra fat and the sodium, stripped of all the other minerals, in a package, and that's going to induce cravings. And actually, processed foods, every bite you take, you become more hungry. And I want you to think about that. The idea, the fact that you actually are more hungry after you started eating, doesn't make sense. And that's what these processed foods do. So what are some of the side effects of getting off the rails with the sugary foods and eating this way? And you can feel hungover even without consuming alcohol, just from eating a holiday meal from a holiday party. So number one, water retention. And like I mentioned, when I came home from the party, I couldn't see my ankles. The water retention was so significant already. The surplus of carbs and the wrong type of sodium intake prompts the kidneys to retain water. Eliminating carbs typically allows the kidneys to release excess water. And a single day of processed foods, inflammatory vegetable oils, sugars, or carbs can lead to retaining an additional 2 to 10 pounds of water for up to 3 days. So normally you want to give yourself 3 days to weigh yourself to get an idea if you actually gained fat, because most of the water that you've gained overnight is just water, or the majority of the weight that you gained is water. Bloat, so excessive inflammation in the stomach and the intestines from indigestion, particularly the failure to break down processed foods, can upset the balance of the microbiome, leading to leaky gut. So one holiday cheat meal can result in an imbalance and detrimental bacteria outweighing the beneficial bacteria. What's made it even worse is the spike protein has infiltrated itself into all of our bodies, and the spike protein is causing gut pathogens to take over the good bacteria, even if you're eating no sugar. So, say you're eating the chicken, the poultry, the conventionally raised beef, that actually produces more spike protein in the body. That's allowing the gut pathogens like E. coli, parasites, fungus, and salmonella to take over the gut. Constipation. This definitely happened to me this weekend. The liver struggled to break down the toxins, inflammatory oils, the processed foods, and the excess sugar can lead to a liver backup. And this in turn slows down intestinal motility, leading to the constipation. The longer the toxins remain in the body due to constipation, the more severe the symptoms, and you're going to just feel stuck. Why? You're recycling the bad estrogens, the toxins, the radiation that can't get out. If you're not going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times a day, then you are reabsorbing your toxins. You got to think about how babies eat and poop and sleep. Those three things. And if you're a mom of a young child, you know how important it is for them pooping, them eating, and them sleeping. Why have we forgotten this? We need to be pooping. Headaches. This was me yesterday. Horrific headache. Instability of blood sugar and insulin levels are the number one cause for headaches. And this is caused by an excessive amount of sugars, seed oils, carbs in the processed foods, in those holiday foods, and they contribute to that post meal headache. Or that's not even if you have food poisoning to add into it, and the stress. All of those things cause headaches. And the absence of the proper electrolytes, so not just sodium, but the potassium and magnesium from the nutrient-dense foods, exacerbate these headaches. So you've got a lot of things going in there, whether it's the flu bug and food poisoning, but it's the blood sugar, the lack of electrolytes, and just the hydration that is going to cause the headaches. You're hangry. Who knows what this means? When you feel angry and hungry at the same time, and you're having to deal with college kids coming home and extra family parties and other stressors during the holidays, all of that is going to make you hangry. And anger is stored in the liver. So if your liver becomes backed up or strained or overheated, which most of ours are, especially during the holidays, you are going to get more angry, and your fuse is going to burn out a lot quicker. So excess hunger results from unstable blood sugars, and this signal is going to increase the ghrelin signaling, which is your hunger hormone, to restore balance. So then what are you going to do? You're going to eat, and you're going to eat that sugar to restore your blood sugars. But then it's just this roller coaster of up and down. Lastly, fatigue. So transitioning from a low carb eating where ketones are produced for energy to high carb or carb consumption significantly reduces ATP. So your true cellular energy is going to come down. And processed foods actually steal ATP from the body. So you're eating these foods thinking they're giving you energy, and they're actually stealing the energy from your cells, causing fatigue and contributing to leaky gut and nutrient malabsorption. When you have leaky gut, you're not absorbing even the good calories and the good nutrients that you're taking in. And you can cause leaky gut with just one bad meal. Another thing to think about with the holiday eating, you can increase your insulin resistance within just a month. Very easy to do. And a lot of that has to do with the consumption of the fructose particularly in the form of the added sugars. And that has been linked to quickening the insulin resistance. Insulin resistance and diabetes have skyrocketed, and it is because of the processed foods over the last 40 years. Fructose is a type of sugar found in fruits and vegetables, but those aren't the foods we're talking about. We're talking about the fructose used as sweeteners in the processed foods like high fructose corn syrup, sodas, candies, crackers, breads, desserts. They're putting it in foods like dairy and even meat products so that your gut registers sweet. You don't even taste it, but that gut is then triggering your brain to want more. So remember, these processed foods are actually tricking your body into becoming addicted to them. So when you consume fructose, it's primarily metabolized by the liver, unlike glucose. Glucose is readily taken up by most cells in the body and used as a source of energy. Fructose metabolism occurs only in the liver, and the excess consumption of fructose can overwhelm the liver's capacity to process it, and that's going to lead to insulin resistance and a whole bunch of metabolic issues. And you have to think, this is away from all of the burden that our livers are getting hit with the radiation and the toxins, glyphosate, GMOs, the halogens like fluoride, bromide, chlorine. All of those things are hitting our liver. This is why we got to get back on track in January. But just for now, so the fructose is going to increase that liver fat, causing fatty liver disease. It's going to elevate the triglycerides very quickly. High levels of triglycerides are associated with insulin resistance and cause increased risk of cardiovascular disease. It actually causes an impaired insulin signaling. So not only is it going to increase insulin and blood sugar, but it's going to create havoc in the signaling. It can interfere with the normal functioning of the insulin receptors, leading to even more of an insulin resistance. And you're also going to see an increase in uric acid levels. Fructose can raise the uric acid levels in the blood. Part of this is the fact that the processed foods and the spike protein deplete copper in the body, and copper helps maintain good uric acid levels. So it's important to note that we're talking about the fructose in these processed foods. So what do you do during this time of year when you can't control everything and you can't even control the food that you want to eat at the parties? So here are my tips. Number one, accelerated keto. Now, the accelerated keto, I take this every single day. It helps with putting your body into fat burning mode, which means that your body's seeking body fat to burn instead of craving for sugar for quick energy. So it's going to control your appetite, which provides even better physical and mental energy. Then it's going to allow you to intermittent fast. So then you can possibly fast until the holiday dinner that you're going to. Dopamine, GABA, serotonin become regulated and help manage the stress associated to the holidays. I remember when I first started taking accelerated keto, I had gone through the holiday season. In January, I said, God, the holidays were easier this year. Why? And I went and thought about all the drama or all the players and all the activities. And I thought to myself, nothing changed except for me and how I perceived my stress. And that was because of the accelerated keto. So you take it every day, and even taking it the morning after the holiday meal will help your body burn the extra calories you ate while staving off that hangry feeling that usually follows a cheat meal. It'll increase your ATP, which is your body's true energy engines, and get you going. And then you will have the energy to exercise and get back on track. It's also going to help cleanse your liver. We put in there scalar frequencies to detox the liver on a gently daily basis. So it helps prep the liver for when you're ready for that liver flush in January. The components in accelerated keto are much different than any other keto supplement. It helps break down those saturated fats in the liver into unsaturated fats, which help decrease the visceral fat around the abdominal area and the liver fat, or the from the fatty liver that you might have. And those are the most dangerous types of fat. Defatting and unclogging the liver is imperative. A leaner liver functions more efficiently, breaks down the fat molecules into energy, and reduces that abdominal fat. It's also where your body converts thyroid hormones from T4 into T3, and that will increase your metabolism, mitochondrial function, and overall energy. We put in there organic mucil, and that enhances the breakdown of fats and provides an energy boost to burn the broken down fats. And it also supports joint health, muscle health. I don't know if you've noticed, but when you start eating off track, right, your joints hurt a little more because your whole body's inflamed. And that inflammation is going to lead to joint and muscle pain as well. The tricatu in the formula elevates the digestive fire, facilitating a heightened absorption of ketones and other cofactors that will increase the metabolic rate. So that's going to help you the day of a holiday party and then also the day after. And it's going to help stabilize your blood sugar so that by the end of this whole holiday season, that you are actually, you have not increased your insulin resistance. Okay, so next is the accelerated colloidal silver. Now, this is a game changer for everybody of all ages. This is the supplement that it was a game changer when my 9-year-old son was diagnosed with leukemia, and that leukemia was gone within a year. So the accelerated colloidal silver helps devitalize all viruses, bacteria, all foreign pathogens. And you better believe I drank that every 2 hours yesterday with what I'd been exposed to. So unlike any other silver, the accelerated colloidal silver is treated with water implosion technology. What does that mean? That means that it goes through a system that energizes it, gives it more life force, more power, and you literally can feel it when you drink it. Then we enhance it with scalar frequencies to clear the emotional and physical shock from the body that may be heightened due to the holidays. It improves the health of the thymus for a stronger immune system, improves lung function, which is typically associated with a lot of viral or bacterial exposure. It devitalizes the viruses and the bacteria. Next is the acceleridine iodine. This is also a game changer. This not only devitalizes all the foreign pathogens of viruses, bacteria, fungus, parasites, but it will help increase that ATP in the mitochondria by 18 times. When you eat a high carb diet, high sugary diet, your mitochondria have about 2 ATP per mitochondria. With the acceleridine iodine, that goes from 2 to 36, 18 times. So just imagine your cells having so much more energy. Mitochondrial failure is directly related to low energy and decreased fat oxidation. So as you eat the sugary foods and drink alcohol, your ATP level suffers. It also cleanses the liver and the dirty blood. The processed foods, alcohol, and high carbohydrates lower liver function and block detoxification pathways. So this is going to help cleanse the liver. It increases T4 and T3 thyroid hormones to optimize energy and thyroid function. That 4 and 3 stand for 4 molecules of iodine and 3 molecules of iodine. The holiday stress and the processed foods are each independently going to lower that active thyroid hormone and lowering your fat burn and energy. So that's where the acceleridine iodine comes in. It also helps heal scar tissue inside the body created by dirty and acidic blood. Did you know you had scar tissue inside your body? You do, not just on the outside. Stress, alcohol, the sugary foods cause extreme acidity in the body and load more toxins in the blood to filter out. And that's where the liver and the kidneys have to do a lot of extra work. It supports cellular energy to ease that stress. It is known that iodine deficiency is the number one predictor of depression. So if you're suffering from depression, mood issues, anxiety during this holiday season, accelerating iodine can help that. It also alleviates issues related to the exposure to the spike protein from others. So as we're in the party room, I don't care if anyone has COVID or not. Everybody's carrying the spike protein, and just we're transferring it to each other, right? And it becomes more active, and so your symptoms might get reactivated. The accelerating iodine is helping alleviate and reverse that damage done by the mRNA and the spike protein. It's going to improve the immune system and keep you from getting sick. It's the only single atom iodine solution that has 100% absorption for all cells in the body, not just the thyroid. And it's enhanced with scalar frequencies to detox the cells of radiation and damage, like I mentioned, by the spike protein and other toxins. With the radiation increase that we've had over the last 3 years, that is another thing to think about. And so our immune system is just getting targeted even more than ever. Next is the accelerated thyroid. And the thyroid is the master endocrine gland. It controls the adrenals, which most of you are suffering from adrenal burnout because of the holiday stress. And we talked about that last week. If the thyroid is controlling the adrenals and the adrenals are tapped out, you can just imagine what goes on and the communication between the adrenals and the thyroid. It's also affecting and controlling most of your hormones. So are you breaking out? Or do you feel like you're gaining more weight that doesn't make any sense? Do you think maybe your hormones are out? That is affected by the thyroid. If your thyroid's sluggish, then the body's going to experience low energy, fat gain, water retention, and increased perceived stress. Accelerated thyroid is the most comprehensive thyroid supplement, helps increase energy, metabolism, fat oxidation, boost the mood, regulate the hormones, and deal with the added holiday stress. It contains an ancient Ayurvedic formula that I've been using for years called Kanchanara. It's known to help detox the thyroid, reduce water retention, which most people suffer from when they have thyroid issues, improve metabolism, dissolve thyroid cysts, in addition to adding in the grass-fed freeze-dried glandular that provides the amino acids and peptides and the natural substances that support thyroid health. The formula is then, of course, enhanced with scalar frequencies to help clear emotional and physical shock from the body and detox from the halogens and other toxins and radiation. Now, accelerated ancient salt. This also is a game changer, even for the people in your life that don't care about their health. It is full of 62 minerals, so not just the stripped down microplastic filled table salt that most of you are eating and that is in the processed foods, but this salt helps suppress sugar cravings, improve hydration intracellularly, so inside your cells, support physical and mental energy, helps with any nausea. Oh, by the way, I had a horrible nausea yesterday as well from the food poisoning and acid reflux. And I just put the salt on my tongue. I also put it all over the food that I ate, and I put it in my water, especially when I did my infrared sauna to help detox the body. But it plumps the blood up to get all the toxins out. And it's helping with that sodium potassium pump that's inside and outside the cell wall. Really important. Most salts are lacking all the minerals, and they contain the toxins, explosives, and microplastics. Did you know even Himalayan salt that's so healthy is mostly filled with explosives? And a lot of Himalayan salt is not even Himalayan salt. They're lying. It's really unfortunate. So a lot of those salts will lead to dehydration, toxicity, bloat, and sugar cravings. And the accelerated ancient salt helps lower blood sugar, which is going to reduce the sugar cravings. A lot of times you think you crave sugar, but you're craving salt, and then the wires get mixed up in the brain. And so you confuse the cravings. So just putting a little bit of the accelerated salt on your tongue, your blood sugar is going to decrease and your appetite for the holiday sugar is going to be suppressed. Just take a little container like this and in your purse to the holiday party and put that on your food instead of using their salt. Next is the accelerated cellular detox powder. After the holiday meal, taking this powder at night will soak up the toxins, the alcohol, and the pathogens that may be lurking in that atypical meal that you're not used to having. Helps coat the stomach and intestinal lining, reduce inflammation, improve bloat and regularity, and alleviate Crohn's disease and colitis, issues like that. So I took it morning and night yesterday because I needed double dose. And ironically, my daughter went out to dinner last night, and at 1 a.m, she woke me up. Mom, I had food poisoning. I can't believe both of us did it. Coincidence, just in time for this podcast. And she was throwing up and she had diarrhea. I got up, I made her a drink with the accelerated cellular detox powder, some Olaloa, and put some Mega Pre and Mega Mucosa, which help heal the gut, in there. She drank it and she still went to school today, hasn't had any issues. She's off to her rowing practice right now. Now, is she 1,000% perfect? No, but is she able to function? And she will do the same thing today. She's taken her silver, taken her iodine, and doing all of the gut things as well. So, bonus tips. That's what you have to do to survive the holiday and with your healthy eating. But bonus tips. Holozymes. This is the first digestive enzyme that actually works for me. And it helps with breaking down the food, reducing gut-related issues like gas, bloating, tummy pain, cramping. They're activated enzymes, much different than the typical enzyme supplement. Quintessential 0.9. This helps with intracellular hydration, homeostasis throughout the body, and digestion. So you just take a little packet and you put it in your mouth, swish it around for 30 seconds, and swallow. The accelerated leaky gut bundle. So this is the Mega Spore, the Mega Pre, and the Mega Mucosa. I will not go without these. Even on vacation, I take these supplements, especially since when you're on vacation or during the holidays, you're eating things you're not used to. Megaspore is unlike a typical probiotic. It's a spore-based biotic. It helps recondition the gut with the right biotics that your gut is asking for, instead of populating it with too many of a few strains like most probiotic. Helps control the bad bacteria that I'm really prone to, like E. coli and Salmonella, H. pylori, others that lead to bloat and dysbiosis. Mega Pre. This helps multiply the beneficial microbial changes that you're getting from the megaspore. So it's quickening the response to the megaspore. And the Mega Mucosa, this helps strengthen the mucosal lining that's damaged with processed foods, sugar, and alcohol. Those three are game changers for the gut and making you more resilient to everything that you are going through during the holiday season. The Mega Pre, Mega Mucosa tastes really good. So you actually will start craving them because they're nice sweet that will hit your sweet taste so that you're not eating as much sugar and processed foods. What else you want to incorporate? In intermittent fasting. So with the supplements above, the acceleradine, the accelerated keto, the accelerated thyroid, and the accelerated ancient salt, your energy is going to increase and your blood sugar is going to stabilize. So you're able to intermittent fast until the holiday meal. And this is going to allow you to enjoy the unusual foods and drinks while still staying on track. Hydrate 30 minutes before your meal. Many people overestimate their hunger due to being thirsty. So try to drink and see if your hunger goes away. Have some water, ideally with a pinch of the accelerated ancient salt or the quintessential 30 minutes before your meal. You don't want to drink too much with your meal, as it's going to dilute the HCl to break down your food. And then you're going to have all the food swimming in the water in your tummy, and it's not going to break down. So if you don't drink beforehand, you'll realize how thirsty you are when you start eating, and then you're going to overhydrate during the meal. And this is something that I have to remind myself, because I can definitely do that. When you do break your fast and when you're at the party, you want to prioritize eating that wild animal protein. It's the most nutrient dense food available. Maybe the party's not going to have any, but what does that look like? Deer, bison, lamb, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, wild salmon, wild Arctic char, fishes. So you can even do duck, Cornish game hen, pheasant, any of those birds. Now, if you don't have that as an option and you're at a party, they typically have a beef, which I would say is probably the most safe. Ideally, if you see lamb, that is number one. That's pretty much the safest meat that you can have at a party. Beef would be second. If it's not wild fish, I would be very wary of that. But you want to break your fast with the protein. This is going to increase the glucagon hormone and actually increase fat burning while your insulin stays low. Also, the amino acids in the protein is going to trigger that hormone called CCK that suppresses the appetite and tells you to stop eating. So then you're not going to eat so much of the processed foods and the sugary things and the alcohol that's still at the party as well. So your brain, the processed foods and the sugars are the ones that are telling your brain you're more hungry, leading to overeating. Next, simplicity on your plate. The more foods you choose to try on your plate during the holiday meal is going to increase the calories you're eating. So this has been studied. If someone has a bigger plate, they're going to fill it and eat more. If they have like 6 little small tasters of different foods, they're going to end up eating more versus if they only have 3 to 4. So choose no more than 3 to 4 dishes to taste to keep you from overeating and increasing your caloric intake. Apple cider vinegar. This is something that I use with every meal. Using that, just putting a little bit in your water and maybe having the mega pre and mega mucosa with it tastes really good, actually, and that's what I do. That's going to help blunt the rise in blood sugar and help with your digestion. Walk for 10 minutes before or after the meal. That's it. Not a big deal. This will dramatically lower your blood sugar, lower your cortisol or your stress hormone, and increase your circulation. And then, of course, prioritize sleep. Now, that's easier said than done with the stress and your blood sugar going up and down. Well, if you're not sleeping, then your ghrelin's going to increase and your leptin's going to become more resistant. And that's then going to make you eat more during the day. So it's this vicious cycle of I'm not eating, then I'm more hungry, and then I eat foods that cause my blood sugar to go up and down. That's going to burn out my adrenals, lower my immune system, and there's all of these things that are just making everything worse. So really try to prioritize sleep. Now you can add in the stem cell activation patches. The glutathione is the master antioxidant, and it's known to boost the immune system and the body's detoxification pathway. These patches increase glutathione by 300% in 24 hours. That is, you don't get a glutathione supplement that can do that. The X39 patch is going to improve your immunity and your repair. It resets 4,000 genes to a more youthful state, helps with collagen repair. It's going to help with your overall immune system. GABA. Why is GABA so important this time of year? Well, number one, the spike protein depletes GABA. GABA helps calm the brain down, helps with stress. It's considered an inhibitory neurotransmitter because it blocks certain brain signals and decreases activity in your nervous system. So it produces that calming effect and helps with feelings of anxiety, stress, and fear. And as it relates to the spike protein, like I mentioned, it's been shown to disrupt a cascade of neurotransmitters. GABA can help stabilize and normalize those neurotransmitters, so not just GABA. It helps protect the liver and the kidneys, helps with insulin resistance, lowers blood glucose, helps with insomnia, and restore hormonal balance. You can see why GABA is so important for so many things that we've touched on today. Ceramide. This is a naturally occurring proteolytic enzyme and helps with inflammation, breaks down the spike protein, dissolves the blood clots and arterial plaque, thins lung secretions, and so many things related to the spike protein. Now, the spike protein is lowering our immune system in general during the season so that we are more prone to getting a different virus or a bacteria to take over our body. So the ceramide is very effective. It helps with preventing viral entry into the human host cell. So also with getting reactivated by any virus, that is also where ceramide can come into play. My Vital C. This is not vitamin C. It's an ESS carbon 60, powerful antioxidant, powerful antiviral, and antibacterial. It stops the cytokine storm associated with the current virus and the spike protein, and it increases lifespan by up to 90%. Who knew? So that is really important. So if it's improving lifespan by 90%, imagine what it's doing in the body. It's a free radical scavenger, and it's really helping the whole immune system. So there are some other Chinese herbal remedies that you can incorporate, and I started incorporating yesterday. If everything else, if you got hit, I say it's gold. Here we go. And I'm taking three times a day, just for yesterday, today, and probably tomorrow, just to be safe. But I'm feeling almost 100%. It helps with fighting bacterial and viral infections, inflammation, fever. In addition to soothing the throat, relieving headaches, excellent remedy to have on hand. I recommend you just have it in your first aid kit for when it hits somebody in the house. And then Cold Away is the other formula. Treats cold and flus by addressing fever, sinus, chest congestion, coughing, aversion to wind, heat, sore throat, tonsillitis, cold sores. So those are the two that I would have on hand always. This is a time of year, like I said, stressful, good stress, bad stress, and the foods, being indoors, it's literally a feeding ground for things to go wrong in the body. And even me, with all that I do, I got hit. I do recommend looking into the Hiwi. It's on my website. It is a new technology device that you can wear with rife frequencies to help target viruses or food poisoning or fat burning or metabolism or thyroid or headaches, whatever you want. Thousands and thousands of programs. I will be talking more about that device in the next year. Very affordable with all of the technologies out there. That is the most bang for your buck with everything that I've talked about, between the biocharger, the amp coil, the Genius Insight app. The Hiwi is the one that is the most bang for your buck. So hopefully that helps you getting through the next couple weeks. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you get ready for doing that Ascent Diet Cleanse starting January 8th. It will go on sale, and it is a time to jump off and get going with 2024. Mind, body, and spirit, so that you feel good. And this is something that you're going to actually finish, because you start feeling good day one as you are detoxing your body. You're not going to feel hangry or the detox flu symptoms like most cleanses that are out there. So if you have any specific health questions for me, you can contact me directly through the website, sarabantahealth.com. Happy to put together a protocol for you. Join the free group coaching on Telegram with the link below. There is no downside. I teach you on a daily basis with tips and tools to enhance your health. And you will be a part of an amazing like-minded group to support you on your journey, in addition to truly taking control of your health. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Accelerated Health Products, across over 100 channels under Accelerated Health TV and radio show. And like I said, my goal is to reach everyone on earth with eyes to see and ears to hear my message of healing. So help me with that goal. Share this with a few of your friends who may need my help. Join us every week, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, and you can find the supplements and all of my podcasts at sarabantahealth.com. Use coupon WELCOME10 for 10% off site-wide. Thanks again for joining us here, and have a great week.